They smooched again, but quietly. So welcome back to the Hayseed Night. I'm your host, Mercenary Orc. When we last left off, we discovered that this girl does fan fiction, and Adder was caught up in an epic duel for his honor and his lunch money. So let us get back to that. That is the best intro I can think of. Adder found himself alone at last. His dearest friend lost to the blurry tides of people surrounding the ring. Veins were starting to pop in his eye, making it even harder to see anything except the stag waiting in front of him. The deer with sharp horns smirked in his drunken haze, clearly looking down on Adder. It wasn't the first time somebody pitied him and lived to regret it, as the drunkard would soon learn, I hope. Because this didn't end well the last time. The ringmaster looked left and right, making sure that both fighters knew what they were about to get into. He lifted his hand carefully as he stepped back, and then... Go! He screamed with a hand shot. Fucking hell. Oh my god, that fucking hurts! Ow! God damn it. That hit me. It was like... Ow, my finger. I think I just fucking hurt my finger. God damn it. Ah, fuck. So my pinky finger, I'm pretty sure that's... oh, that smarts. Ah, no. That's not good. Alright. Let us proceed with the game. I will deal with my personal injury later. Go, he screamed with a hand chop. Shit, I don't know. Charge. This was no time to hesitate. Both the Roe and his opponent rushed towards each other headfirst, heeding the scream of the ancient instinct that boiled in their blood. Every voice in the alley fell silent once the deer slammed into each other, the horns singing as the threatening... fuck. Every voice in the alley fell silent once the deer slammed into each other, horns singing a threatening melody as they rattled fiercely in a never-ending battle for dominance. The tension could be cut with a knife as their foreheads pushed against each other, but Yoff's advice proved unerring indeed. As much as he tried, the bigger deer could not intertwine his antlers around Adder's short, straight ones. Tired of this pointless dance, the deer pushed Adder back with a swift head movement. Before Adder had a chance to react... Wait. Ah, damn it, I did it again. Fuck off! I didn't realize we wouldn't... That was a... They distinctly said... God damn it. Yeah. Adder found himself alone at last. His dearest friend lost to the blurry tides of people surrounding the ring. Veins are starting to pop in his eyes, making it... Oh, we've been over this. Fucking... Edit all of this out. Wait. The towering deer charged towards Adder like a runaway fur, his horns lifted and ready to slam into him with the full force of the Macadeer stampede. But the road didn't move a single muscle. Adder merely waited, silencing all the voices that screamed at him to run and die. He didn't even assume the step-rider stance. He just waited, closing his eyes lest the sight of his incoming enemy would betray his nerve. And when the time was right... Grapple him! Fuck. Adder opened his arms, slightly mentally prepared. Oh shit, I did it wrong, didn't I? Back. Wait. Thwack! Adder spun on the tip of his hooves and struck his opponent with such force that he swat him straight into the ground. And you may think, wow, that's anticlimactic. And I do. But it was everything That's an... Okay. But it was everything but for Adder. Everything but. Both the public and the ringmaster tilted their heads as they stared at the man lying on his snout, a bit unsure about the nature of the event they had just witnessed. But what they saw was nothing but the truth. Taking Yoff's advice to heart, Adder obtained a beautiful, simple victory. Down! Screamed the ringmaster. Adder won the fight and lived to see another day. One punch stag, yes! Wait, so he wins? That's not what's supposed to happen.
Of course he wins. He's the knight, you doof.
No, he's supposed to get his ass whooped. Right, never mind. Well done.
I'm pretty great, yes.
We're not leaving in anything about that. You know what you did. Now what's this torn page you're trying to hide behind your back? Oh no.
Wait, don't!
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's your grandfather, damn it. So anyways.
Whoa! I can't believe it! Still alive and kicking! Come on, show me the money, Bard! I want to bite every single coin!
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I completely forgot to place the bet.
Oh, you bastard! Geoff, why? Why have you forsaken us? Geoff covered his face with his hands, making some sort of unintelligible noise that can only be described as the very sound of anguish.
Hey, Big Ed, I want to learn some tips too. I'll buy you dinner.
Oh, well then.
Hey now, sir! You really think you're gonna steal...
Shut up.
My dear boy, you sure gave it all today, so why don't you go and enjoy what's left of the fair? I have a gig in the tavern later. Yes. Don't expect me tonight.
Well then. There's a gig in the tavern. The less said about that, the better. With that, Geoff hurriedly shooed a very confused Adder away. Our protagonist wandered back towards the increasingly empty and silent plaza, unsure of where he was headed next. His victory had been but a brief rush of against mediocrity, and now that he was alone, his mind I'm thinking like Geoff now. His mind seeked the comfort of a familiar place, a seething pit in his chest. No, he had no business there. Adder spent enough nights hungry and alone to learn to eat his emotions for dinner, but still his stomach protested, demanding to know whether the next real meal would arrive. He could only walk a little further to chase those thoughts away. No matter how resilient he was, he would eventually get tired and stagger his way back home, fall asleep in his little corner, dream a sleepless dream, and wake up to a drunk Geoff crashing in. He'd head to work and Iana would get him some food. Or so he thought. That's right. He held no his darts. He had no darts, and he had no heart. He held no doubt in his heart that his boss would come back. What had he made such a fuss for? Aina never missed a single day of work in the whole year he'd been working for her, and anyways, she was way stronger than him. What could he do? He had no reason to say grand words or worry like he did. He never had. The sparse groups of citizens and visitors all around him still celebrated this blessed day. Dances and melodies and pastries The sparse groups of citizens and visitors all around him still celebrated this blessed day. Dances and melodies and pastries a drifter from down yonder the steppes would never be allowed to take part in. Oh, I see now. Okay. This was just another empty day in the life of an Adderson, son of Gerfaz. That's a title. I am Adderson, son of He walked into a wall again, didn't he? An abrupt lapse of lunacy made Adder turn his head away from his hooves at last. His ears perked up and his fur stood on end as he tried to make sense of the careless trip he'd just taken. He walked into a wall. The music was deafening all around him, the crowd intraversable. He didn't know how far he'd walked or how he'd managed to make some space for himself. It was obvious now he'd stumbled into some sort of performance. A stage, where the whole city would be looking. What a dream. But a remote voice in the back of his thoughts told him he didn't have time to find out what kind of show could attract such a crowd. That was not where he was supposed to be. Uh-oh. He knew his gut hadn't been lying to him when he caught sight of a small flickering light coming from a discreet tent around which the clouds seemed to be oddly absent. His eye wouldn't budge away from the curious flame shining in the dark. He sensed its offer. Warm and loud. Adder didn't even consider for 1 second that man would be too hungry to think straight. He ignored all of the warnings common sense would have taught him. Marched straight into that tent. Dusk was still a ways off, but it might as well have been midnight inside. Adder combed the darkness desperately, startled by the sudden change in illumination. Sweet, frightful clarity once more. What in the name of Hatsia was I thinking? He pondered in his breathless silence as his mind started conjuring bandits, assassins, and monsters, ready to tear his cape into pieces and fashion toothpicks out of his horns for having been so reckless. Wowzers! That was a trip. But he didn't get to fret long, as his fears were interrupted by the birth of a flame in the corner of his sight. Its flares grew with unmeasured force, blinding him for a moment. He struggled to regain his vision, fearing those foes that had only lived in his mind, foes he wouldn't get to face today either. Bathing in the light of an orb that was filled with fire, shading the ways that made no sense whatsoever, awaited a feminine silhouette. Oh, I see who this is going to be. A very feminine silhouette.
Took you long enough.
Uh-oh. Of course it was her.
Yeah, it's not a living.
Yeah, here we go. And all of a sudden, Adder wished he found bandits instead. At least he would have known where to look for them. Where to look that... Oh, I see now. He tried to fix his gaze on her eyes, shining above a thin pink veil that covered most of her face. But that was in vain. The sequins that hung from her neck reflected the light all over the room, dragging Adder's attention right back to them and the scarf that covered the bare minimum. I have 1,000 words to call the woman in front of him, and none of them are good, so let's just say she was wearing what would be inappropriate now, let alone then.
Don't just stand there. Take a seat.
Okay.
I don't know. I've been sitting on my tail all day, and I got places to go, and I don't usually share tents with ladies, and...
Oh god, if Ada catches him in here... I don't... Judging by her glare, she wasn't going to take no for an answer. As an answer. What? Okay. I wonder what I should choose.
What am I saying? It'd have been mighty ugly of me to reject an invitation.
That's right. Adder did as asked and sat down on one of the many pillows laying around. Pretending to be crazy, escaping, begging the gods for mercy. Wait, what? Hold on, I have to see what a horn eater really is. Yeah, I figured as much. Adder's mind was bustling with ways of getting out of that situation. So, of course, whenever his mind was busy, his mouth was free to speak as it pleased.
Hi.
That's just a perfect moment on its own. He spoke with a voice more akin to that of a fawn whose antlers are just beginning to sprout rather than a fully grown... Well, I mean, to be fair, game. Try to be smooth. Play it off like smooth.
I'm Anderson, son of Gerfath, the buck who farms the highest hill in my village, Ravina Otis. So, here and there, just about everywhere, folks know me as Adder, of the Upper Fields.
God damn it, she's unimpressed, is she? Hold on, I want to go back and see. Nice place.
Nice place you got here. I like your cushions. These cushions over here and over there. Darn, they sure are comfy. What are they made of? They gotta be the comfiest cushions ever. Can I bounce on them, ma'am?
Oof.
Please don't.
Oh, god damn it. I don't...
Nice place. I'm Anderson, son of Gerfath.
That's nice.
Oh, you just can't win, Kenny.
Ain't it? It better be, because it's a lie, ma'am. They call me Long Neck Short Horns, or Adder Shovel Hands, or sometimes even Adder Shoe Face.
There you go. A mocking chuckle stabbed Adder's heart. Feeling even more self-conscious than he thought he was capable of, he held onto his held onto his hooves and fixed his gaze on the ground, screaming inside as his face burned.
So it wasn't the contusion after all, huh? You're just like that.
Oh, the contusion. She was watching.
Like what now?
Oh.
Funny.
Shit, what was that? Hold on, something just fell off my desk. How have I managed this? Alright, we're gonna continue on with this. Uninterrupted, I hope.
Funny? Me? Not one bit, man. I ain't got a funny bone in my body. Doc and I ain't never seen worse jokes than Adder scenes. Hold up. Didn't that sound like a poem just now?
I'm not a poet. I have no comment.
Well, darn. A poem ain't nothing but a dull song, Mr. Bard always says so. I'd hate to bore a fine lady such as yourself, so I better get...
Bore me? Please. With hands like those, you wouldn't look out of place in a traveling circus. Or in some lord's court, if you're any good at juggling.
Oh, just a second there.
In fact, I know a certain gazelle in dire need of entertainment. What do you say? One word from Jasif, and you will be working in a palace tonight.
Oh my. Come on, Adder. I'm scared to click next because it's this guy we're dealing with. That's my main concern. Adder couldn't quite figure out if that meant to be an insult or a compliment, but he was quick to decide that it was better to work for someone that didn't talk than for someone that talked about herself in the third person.
I think I'm gonna pass for now, but I'll holler at you next time I'm fresh out of pride, ma'am.
I don't know how that comment's gonna hold up with her. A deep silence filled the temp. Adder cursed his luck and his good manners. He wanted to run away and hide, fearing that he'd otherwise commit a big mistake. The kind of mistake that would get him called a horn eater for the rest of his life. I mean... the shoe fits, buddy boy.
Well then, it was sure nice to see you again, but...
Grab his arm.
Would you like to know your fortune?
Oh, that's right, she's doing fortune-telling here, isn't she? Adder turned on his heel, desperate to find out if her offer was indeed true. There was nothing that betrayed a lie in her words nor in her eyes. I'm stupid.
Whoa! You're one of those gazelle fortune tellers? For real?
Adder, the easily impressed. Let's just say they looked rather different back in Adder's hometown.
Well, slap my head and call me silly. I got you pegged all wrong, man. Darn right I'd love to hear it. Oh, hold up. I lost my bag of coins. I ain't got a single dollar on me, so...
Oh.
My bag?
You dropped it right after you crashed the first time. I meant to give it back, but since you were so bent on running through that wall...
Adder is not pleased.
You didn't steal from it, did you?
Steal what? It's just filled with rivets.
Aha! That means you opened it!
So much for wanting to see you again. That was all. You can go now if you want.
Punch. A punch to the gut would have hurt Adder infinitely less than her words. Yeah. Oofda. What am I doing, he thought to himself, biting the inside of his cheek. No mere thief would have returned his bag, and as sad as that was, no other person would have gone so far for him. And so he sat down once more, looking at the finely yet scarcely dressed woman in front of him with a mix of embarrassment, naivety, and just plain fear.
I don't suppose you accept rivets as payment.
Aww.
That would depend on what you're paying for.
My boy.
Getting my fortune?
Adder, come on. Oh, she just can't touch her poor Jacif.
Just keep them.
Jacif rested her arms over the crystal orb, leaning closer to Adder.
All right! Can you look into the ball thing and tell me how my ma and pa are doing? Did any of my little bros get married yet?
That's cute, but it's a reading glass, not a magic mirror.
I'm gonna leave that alone.
Right. How about the weather? Can you give them good harvests?
Take your prayers to the temple.
Ooh.
Oh, darn, that won't do either. Alrighty then, how about me? What do you see in this buck's future?
Your future? Why would you want to know anything about that? Life would be boring if you knew what waits around every corner. I'll read your past and justify your present.
But I already know those things.
I don't.
I'm sorry. I can't. I think that I'm hesitant to leave it off here, but this is just like the perfect image to leave. It's just him, huh? And her just giving him. I could replace the text with so many different things that would elicit that response. Alright. Her blue eyes spoke like an insinuating whisper. Her fingers walked all over the cobblestone ground, heading towards Adder's own hands as her face got ever so close. There's another picture of this.
For example, we could talk about why you did what you did for me then, and figure out what I could do to return the favor now.
Eat the horns, eat the horns, eat the horns, eat the horns! The sequins that hung from her sash rang as they hit the ground, reminding him... Wait, no. The sequins that hung from her sash rang as they hit the ground, reminding him once more of her less than modest clothing. But no, she was no doe.
I gotta insist, ma'am, that you definitely got the wrong bucket. But even if I ever did anything nice for you in my life, a simple thanks is more than enough payment.
I guess you could use a reminder too.
Very much so. Please expound on this. The soothsayer made no attempt to conceal her disappointment, much like no one ever made any attempt to explain what her coming on too strong... Oh, hold on. The soothsayer made no attempt to conceal her disappointment, much like no one ever made any attempt to explain to her what coming on too strong means. I don't even know what that... God damn it. I failed my English class. What do you want from me, game? With apparent tedium, she grabbed the crystal orb and put it right between her face and Adder's. This time, she had no pretensions. She had no more pretensions than merely watching him.
Oh fire, tell me the secrets in the... Yada yada, stuff in Bazaktet. I don't feel like switching languages now.
Her complete lack of professionalism made Adder feel, for once, at ease. After all, what would he do if he was indeed in front of a Sephi, one of the heinous Barhand witches from far back in time? Cry? Beg? Try to escape? Wait. Those were things he'd already thought of doing. As Adder was considering the subtle differences between the fears he felt when talking to a girl and imagining being burnt to a crisp by a witch, she watched him. Oh shit. And she kept watching. Fuck. Going back, I gotta do this again. As Adder was considering the subtle differences between... Fuck! As Adder was considering the subtle differences in the fears he felt when talking to a girl, and imagining being burnt to death by As Adder was considering the subtle differences in the fears he felt when talking to a girl, and imagining... Wait, what the fuck? He's got 3 arms! Why does he have 3 arms? General Grievous. General Kenobi! That sounds more like Yoda. Alright. As Adder was considering the subtle differences in the fears he felt when talking to a girl, and imagining being burnt to a crisp by a witch, she watched him. And she kept watching. And then she watched some more. And then she realized... She liked what she saw. The gazelle lifted her head, but from behind the glass she squinted... Wait. The gazelle lifted her head from behind the glass as she squinted her eyes into fine lines. Whatever she was looking for, she couldn't find. But she ducked behind the orb once more, hoping she could reach some kind of conclusion. Focused with such intensity that her eyebrows could have split her forehead in two if she wouldn't have noticed. Jasif pressed her mouth to one side, wiggling her nose and opening her eyes so wide at him that Adder couldn't help but laugh. Oh, quite the turn we've taken here.
Shush! It's easier with 2.
She mumbled the last part to herself, but Adder was sure she said eyes.
Oh, what's that? You ain't never done it with a one-eyed deer before?
He's come to realize. Adder pressed his lips together like he wanted to make them disappear. Jasif merely rose an eyebrow. His accidental innuendo made him shaking from horn to hooves once more.
Screw this.
Oh. And then the sash came off. Oh! She pushed the orb She pushed the orb away with an exasperated sigh. Before Adder knew what was going on, his face was in her hands, and her face was in front of his. And his tongue was out. And an expression that I can only describe is just...
I need to find out if it was you after all. Stay still.
Only a single thought raced through Adder's mind at this moment. Don't get a boner, don't get a boner, don't get a boner, don't get a boner. The drumbeat of his ears, it was Adder's heartbeat that she stared at him so intently. There was a lump in his throat. He did his best not to tremble. His eye began feeling heavy, though he tried to hold her gaze. They're not looking at each other, though, are they? She was muttering something, words about his past, but her voice became obscured by the noise of bells, the crackling of the fire, the sound of her... What? How do you hear that?
It's really too sodding late to be dealing with pests like you. And yet, here we are, wasting my time and yours.
That's either going to be him getting dismissed, or this is going to be something he recognizes.
Hey! What's that supposed to...
Adder's complaint banished at a spear point. Uh-oh, shit. What? Alright, 2 guards had replaced the gazelle, 1 old and 1 complacent. Oh, okay. 1 old and complacent, and 1 young, eager and inches away from stabbing his nose.
Just who do you think you are?
I don't know.
Who do you think I am?
What? It's Jasif's voice, but as much as he tried to find her, Adder couldn't see her. In fact, he couldn't even move at all.
What? Ugh, I won't fall for your bar and mind tricks, Gazelle. I don't care if you're Hayseed or Jasud. Only nobles are allowed to walk the royal pathway. No exceptions.
Adder felt a lump in his throat as he unwillingly looked over the railings that he was leaning against. Wait, she drugged him?
I don't suppose you expect me to jump off the bridge.
Oh wait, he's recounting something. Alright. Younger guard opened his mouth to reply, but his partner cut in line.
Can't you see that you're scaring her, you dimwit? Take a step back!
Damn.
What? But she's trespassing.
Okay. The youngest guard got smacked in the head for his efforts.
Settle down, boy! You forgot to clean your ears this morning or what? She said she's Jasif. Jasif! This girl's far more than nobility, see? She's a queen!
Oh my. And on that note, we're on time. Leave a like and subscribe if you enjoy. And I will see you all next time when we get some more context into who this Jasif... as we get more context into who Jasif really is. Peace out. So I can't tell if we're playing as her, if this is like a flashback, or if we've been... What kind of funk is going on right now?